In the silence I wait, all the lights to turn green. And if they don't, well, I'm gonna feel real mean. Gonna wanna take this phone, throw it out of my home, whip it against a wall, and watch the pieces fall, because there's always something that doesn't work. There's always something that's broke. There's always something you need some help from some smarter folk. But they don't exist, and it just doesn't happen. You just keep trying, and you get more crap in me. That doesn't work at all. No, that doesn't work at all. But it's almost a rhyme, and it's stream live in time. This is a country song, I guess, but it's a real mess, like a real country song. Ding dong. Why do I have a feeling something is broke right now? The levels are working okay, but something is missing. Oh wow. What's going on here? Why aren't these lights staying solid? Why can't I trust this stuff? Think it's working. Being on the internet is rough, 'cause everyone is mean. If you can be seen. Oh, that's just my phone telling me that myself is online. Thanks! Thanks, Facebook. Maybe tell somebody else for once, you garbage jerk. Space Goonies here. She's got loonies and beer, and she's gonna throw them all to people down the hall. What? That doesn't make any sense. Alright, gonna press the buttons. Gonna press the buttons. Gonna press the buttons? Gonna press the buttons. See what happens. I know I'm forgetting something. My glasses will not become clean, and I don't know why. Use the cleaning stuff. Keep getting more dirty. Don't know where my other glasses are. Laser sharks shooting down aeroplanes with her laser pains. No, that isn't. Let's just go to the camera. Ripley, just go to the camera. Hey, too close to the camera. Here we go again. Mamma mia. Oh my. Was there a He-Man? Oh, there was. And I don't know if I could stop talking about He-Man. Like, honestly, when it came on and I started Facebooking things, but I don't Facebook that often. I'm not going to do it on Twitter because nobody reads my Twitter. So it's just Facebooking stuff, and I'm just like, somebody get it here and be upset / delighted with me, because I'm very confused and I don't know how I feel about this show. And the first episode's almost over, and I feel like the whole thing should be almost over. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, no, that's great. Hey, do you have any favorite He-Man characters? Hey, tell me some of the names of your favorite He-Man characters. I don't know, some of my favorite. Dead. He's dead. They're dead. She's dead. Do you have a favorite one? They're dead. Oh my god. Let's talk about He-Man. He-Man and the forces of the Masters. Golfing and that green jacket. Magic sword there, the crazy cat, and a withered guy with a hat. He-Man. Ripley, play the intro, please. Lightning, just like He-Man and his friends. in the Master's clan. Wrong button. There we go. Hey! Oh. Oh, man. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. I definitely have 1,000 other things I could talk about. Lots of stuff happened in the run of a week. It's been a week. It's been a whole week since I streamed at you. But yeah. I spent what felt like not very long watching some quick little episodes of the new Masters of the Universe, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. Before I take a big old box of complaints and dump it over it, or a big old bucket, as Kevin Smith would always say. Oh, a big old bucket of win, he would say. It is a big old bucket of win, but I've also got a big old bucket of fish to throw at it, you know, because I'm alive and on the internet, and that's what it's for, is to be angry at things. But yeah, no, the show itself, even the fact that they killed off like everybody, still, you know, still wasn't that bad. Like, that still wasn't a huge, you know, detractor from the whole show. But before we get going, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, spoilers alert. Spoilers alert. I avoided everything. The only thing that I really saw before the He-Man started was the one guy going, "Oh, it's too political now," which means, hey, the women seem to have a voice, and there's a black character, like, getting very political, like, giving into these political people, like, no, it's just including people, like we talked last week. Everything was made by coked out white people back in the 80s and 90s, and now people are like, hey, what if everything wasn't just done at the whims of coked out old white people? Oh, what did I... Oh, man. So, before you start going off about He-Man, why not bring up the thing that you're already also actually super angry about, and about 2 seconds from throwing this computer through a wall and or suing somebody? Like, just let's just get that out of the way first, and then we can talk about the good stuff, because you're definitely just going to be seething the whole time. Oh, don't, you know, the seether, huh? What is that, Veruca Salt? Don't, something the seether, and something else is over there overnight. Those aren't the words, but you know what I'm talking about. I do. It's a good song. Good band. Yeah, no, yeah. So, one of my jobs at work today was to simply create source files that don't exist. What? Not that crazy. Happens all the time. Somebody comes to us and is like, hey, here's the work we had done. Could you do me a favor? I only have this finished product. I need, like, the vector files that went into it and the things that were compiled together to create this thing. So can you do that for me? We can get you nothing except for this final thing. Can you create everything that went into the steps to create this thing? And yeah, of course I can. I mean, I can't, but I can. And I will, but this is going to be a mild nightmare. And somebody on my to-do list was like, hey, here's a real simple job. Like, yeah, super simple. I just have to magically project my mind back in time into somebody else's head and see how they put this together, because it's not something as simple as trace this logo, although some of it is, but the logo is just levels of transparency over space. So which parts am I tracing and which parts are bleeding out into space? Who knows? We'll find out how much they hate it when it's done, or how much they love it when it's done. As near as I can tell, I'm basically doing a good job, and it's fine. But one thing that I thought to make my life a little easier was I'll go find the plugin to my video editor and have that do the effect that I need instead of manually creating it out of 7,000 layers, where it won't look quite as magical as just getting this free plugin and letting it do its thing. So I went and tried to find the plugin, found it. All right, it's not working though. It's as simple as drop it in this folder and you're good to go, and it's not good to go. So now I have to read the whole internet. So I'm trying to read the internet, but then, hey guys, work meeting. Okay, cool. This should only be 20 minutes. Oh, it's an hour and a half? Excellent. Well, now I've lost everything that I retained before the meeting, and I didn't retain anything from this meeting because I'm still enraged over the fact that this plugin just doesn't work, and I have no explanation. So I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried, and then work ended. Can't end the day on a failure, so I tried and tried and tried and tried, restarted, re-uploaded, re-downloaded, reinstalled, updated, restarted, updated the other thing, restarted. Oh, well, you got another update? Fine, do it. Do all the updates. Never works out well, do it again. Odds are pretty good that when I try to turn on my streaming gear, it's going to be like, whoa, who are you and what are you doing? You updated stuff. None of this stuff works anymore, and now you only have 15 minutes to figure it out. Good luck. Tick, 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 tick. Tick, tock, Mr. Wick. Okay, cool. Cool, I'm a million years old. I don't belong on any of these platforms apparently, but I'm still going to try my best and figure out all the things. So in the end, I was just before the stream watching some guy go, all right, let's go through all of the different things that could fix your Final Cut plugin problem. And he went through all the things that I did. So I just sit here, trying my best not to punch this computer monitor until it smashes to pieces. So instead, I punch my desk and my knuckles hurt. Not so much now, but they did. And so what would you learn from that? That punching the desk never helps ever. And I never learned that. But I'm not going to smash all my gear, because one of these days I'm just going to smash all this gear, because some days I am just like, well, what's the point of all this gear? What's the point of all of it? If suddenly some of it doesn't work, why do I keep trying this? Why not just enjoy smashing it to pieces and then going, hey guys, I won't be in work for another week or so because I got to wait for all my stuff to be delivered because I broke all of mine and just cost myself thousands of dollars. And you know, that's because that's what it's like to work on computers. That's just what it's like. When you're just, especially in a world where it's like, oh, I can't just turn to the desk next to me or to the tech guy and be like, hey, tech guy, do you know what the deal is? Because we don't live in that world anymore. If somebody's within 10 feet of me, I want them to also be catapulted into the sun. Everybody, into the sun. Get on Bezos' giant wiener and fly into the sun. You know what I'm really amazed by? He really went into space already. Like, that wasn't even a, like, someday this weirdo's going into space. Like, he went? He actually, like, went the other day? Hey, guys, I'm just gonna pop up to space because I'm that rich. Peeing in bottles? What? Don't know what you're talking about. I'll be in space. That company is someone else's problem now. I'm gonna go to space. And that happened. Like, that really happened. Like, one maniac was like, guys, I'm gonna run a country. That's nuts. You're a weirdo from the TV who lives in a gold bedroom. Anyway, I'm gonna run a country. And then he did it. And this other guy was like, well, if that's gonna happen, I'm going to space. And then he did. And then the other guy was like, hey, I'm inventing a Cybertruck. Oh, you're inventing a Cybertruck? Well, then it better not exist in real life, because a Cybertruck to me means that it exists in some sort of cyberspace. And if you do a presentation where you show somebody throwing a rock at your bulletproof car and then it still just shatters into pieces, then you're a stupid, stupid millionaire, billionaire, and I hate you all. Give me your... So anyway, lots of things in this timeline to be upset about. Laser Sharks. Alright, let's just do a little Milo first. And then we'll figure out who he's going to be talking to. Here's how comics are made, kids. First you draw a circle. And then you draw something around that circle. And maybe you draw some little structure lines to pretend you're going to actually use them to dictate where body parts go. Hey, Alabalo! He's all happy. He's all like, hey, Tila, what's it like to have your own TV show? I mean, yeah, you had to let all of your friends die first. All of them. And for some reason, nobody will tell you that you're the sorceress's daughter, which seems to be the obvious thing that they're trying to tell you. Oh, Patrick. Speaking of being allergic to circles, I'm gonna keep segueing for as long as I can away from He-Man, because I just don't think I'll stop. I don't think I'll stop. When I was a teacher for a very short time, for a nice 9-month period, I helped gestate a bunch of art students, animation students in the art of storyboarding, I think. Improv. I apparently taught an improv class. Didn't know that's what the class was until about a month into it. And I'm like, this is an improv class? Oh, cool. So I guess I'm great at improv now then? Because I'm teaching it. I don't know. Oh, that school was a scam and a sham. Or at least some of the people in charge of stuff were. And I don't work anywhere near it, and I've unfriended a bunch of those people, so they can eat it. Whatever they want it to be. The dealer's choice. Wait, no. I'm the dealer. Player's choice. So yeah, no, there was one student who was awesome. She was super great and fun. Interesting. Adventurous. Nothing against her at all. But one quirky quirk was, yeah, basically, Pat Camera, allergic to circles. What kind of circles, though? Counterclockwise circles, I think it was. I want to say it was counterclockwise. And either way, if it was clockwise or counter, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Same story. We're just rotating in a different direction. You're really going to shorten direction to direction? Yeah, I regret it as well. And that's why I'm here, to point out your regrets before you could, go too far in life, not regretting those things. Want you to immediately regret the things that should be regretted. I like regretting. That's good. I thought that you would. So, maybe I talked about this, but I definitely must have talked about this at some point in time. But in animation, when you're doing it on paper, which is, at least back in those days, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't remember anymore, they still had their animation discs. Yeah, SKS. Where, if you're not Pat, Pat Brew 101, it's just a disc, usually like kind of a rectangle of glass on it where light can shine through so you can see through to the frames before. Similarly to this, how I press the onion skin. I never had an animation disc. Never, ever, ever. Just used the one. We didn't have to buy our own at school. There was just one there and you weren't allowed to take it. So I never, ever had one. Maybe had some makeshift ones with just a peg bar taped down to a piece of masonite board. So anyway, the reason for the disc is so that as you're drawing, you can just kind of easily rotate it without having to like move your whole body or rotate your whole desk. Because if you're drawing in like a sketchbook, you never just keep it straight, perpendicular. You move it around. So Realizing I should have looked up any reference image before I started drawing this, because I'm fully just making this up. Oh, it is hot in here. But yeah, so these students, they did have to buy all of their own animation discs that they had to take with them all the time and whatnot. Anyway, neither here nor there. This is about the rotating of the disc. And yeah, one student was fully just like, she would draw, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I was like, just rotate it this way, and then just, do a horizontal line, you're done. And then she would like go all the way around like the other way, and I'm just like, what's happening? And and just a bunch of things where she would like say come up to the front of the class, and then even though she just had to turn left and go back to her desk, she would turn all the way around right and then go back to her desk. Like just weird things where it's just like, this is taking too much time to even calculate that you need to do this, right? But yeah, basically, like, and then people are like, oh no, she doesn't do counterclockwise. Like, can't, won't, don't, never. Like that doesn't. What are you saying? What are you saying? And one day I sat down at her desk to draw something, and I put my finger in the little rotation hole to rotate it, and I went to go like counterclockwise, and literally like hand on the disc, like no. What 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 do you mean no? No, you can't. Like, yes, I can. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. And I was like, you're going to have to accept that other people around you are going to be rotating things counterclockwise. Specifically, right now, I am the teacher, and you will not grab the animation disc and keep me from rotating it so I can show you how to draw a thing. That is unacceptable. Now, I am the most agreeable person in the world, so of course, this is acceptable, and I'll do my best to accommodate you right now. But seriously? Oh my god. Oh my god. It goes left and it goes right. Don't get your license? Please don't get your license. If you get your license, I don't know, just murder everybody first, because you're gonna murder everybody. You're gonna have to turn things two ways there. Reference name that I can't. Derek Zoolander. There you go. Derek Zoolander. Oh man. But yeah, just straight up an OCD thing where I was just like, I thought I was weird and crazy. Like this is so far beyond. Like I'm not eating that sandwich unless those crusts are cut off. Like this is gonna get real difficult. Real difficult. Oh no, just close this. Okay, there we go. You know what? I'm gonna pick a different character. I'm gonna pick him from the shelf for a reference. Since we got him. Since we got him. Let me tell you a story about Ram Man. He's got a head that's made for hitting. He's got an axe in one hand and an axe in the other. Meow. And his legs are springs so he can jump around. But is he in the Revelation? No. He's not dead yet. No, he's not dead yet. He's still Schrodinger's kitten. Meow. Oh, man. So, let's erase this head. I've still not gotten a He-Man or a Skeletor. I refuse to pay $100 to get two $14 action figures. I did, however, speaking of the great lie that is He-Man Revelations, again, great show, loved it, can't recommend it enough, watch it, it's awesome. From beginning to end, it's awesome. But if you didn't know what it was going to be about and you were expecting something else, for a good chunk of it, you feel very lied to and angry. So whatever. I finally throw it on. I go back to Netflix. I give them my $9. Here, Netflix, I'm gonna pay you money so I can watch your show because you've got the show that I want, and I think it's gonna be great. And I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna have a disappointing Sunday morning. So the show starts. Spoiler alert. Right away, like what feels like right away, realize one, oh, He-Man's not the star of this show. He's here, but definitely the focus is on like not He-Man. I think it's Teela, and I'm still okay with that. Teela's a good character. This is gonna be great. And as it started to play out, like, yep, Teela is better than He-Man. Again, like we said before, just like the Wasp and Ant-Man, get out of here. You're not good at this, the Wasp is. He-Man and Teela, hey, you seem to be kind of played off as if you're not the strongest, most powerful thing in the universe here, and Teela's the one doing all the work, so fine, let's have a Teela story. I'm okay with this. But, I did, like I said, I avoided all the spoilers, so I didn't know much. But what I did know is that there was a whole thing where people were like, hey, we think that this is actually just a Teela story, and He-Man's actually not a big part of it. And Kevin Smith specifically was like, what? How dare you? Like, no, this is going to be totally metal. It's going to be totally awesome. He-Man's rocking. Skeletor's going to be crazy, evil, and everything, and it's great, and don't even worry about it. And yeah, other than, so it was like the mild frustration was, well, if you're gonna make a He-Man show about female empowerment, then why are you getting Kevin Smith to do it? Why'd you get this dude to do this lady show? What's the point of this? So that's kind of just a weird, just offhanded offense level in my head. Whatever. But the big thing was the fact that they kept saying, no, it's not this. It's not that thing. And then I'm watching it just being like, it's that thing. It's that thing. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Like, it's fine. Just don't lie to me that He-Man's in this, like, all the time and not just a doofus in some flashbacks. This is ridiculous. So whatever. Feel like I got over that pretty quick. Like, once He-Man dies the first time, spoiler alert, I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. You know, gritty old man-at-arms, battly Teela and her team of you know, universe masters. Like, this is still gonna be interesting. Then it was like, hey, where's man-at-arms? Like, I don't know. He's under a cloak somewhere. Where's Orko? Who cares? Teela's just doing stuff with some other new character. And they're kind of running into new characters. Like, alright. Well, at least there's all the magic and wonder that are waiting for us, right? Nah, there's no more magic. There's no more magic, though. There's almost no magic left. Like, oh, okay. Oh, there's Evelyn. Evelyn is the best. This show should be the Evelyn show. Evelyn and Orko, honestly, best show ever. Every time, you know, some characters did pair off for a minute, I'm just like, love it, great, love it. I thought Prince Adam was way better than old Prince Adam. Like, he looked better, the designs, all the designs are so good, so good. Can't fault any of the designs. And again, same deal. Story, awesome. But yeah, like Daryl says, uh, um, and yeah, it's like I don't remember, like I don't have a lot of He-Man solidified in my head, even though like I really did worship it as a child. But I did know like they've made sure like it was based on the toy line rather than the old series. They didn't have the rights to the old series. That's why it wasn't like He-Man in the Masters of the Universe. It was just Masters of the Universe Revelations. Here's a revelation. We don't have the rights to do the stories we said we were doing. Like, and I saw a press conference specifically with Kevin Smith, like, yep, we're continuing off and we're doing this and all the stuff you love, we're doing that. And it's just like, why you lying? Why you lying? Why you lying? You're already a millionaire. Nobody's gonna take your money away. It's fine. It's fine. Justice League sucked. We'll reboot He-Man again if it sucks or whatever, right? Like it's fine. Don't worry about it. But instead he chose to lie, and it's just like, huh, huh. I just never really thought of Kevin Smith as that kind of person. But he also was just like, I love He-Man. And then it showed a picture from a video from Comic Book Man I saw where it was like, oh yeah, I remember that episode where he specifically says, I don't like He-Man. I never liked He-Man. Like, well, rich people lie. Oh, it's just like for the cartoon part of it, Pat, like as opposed to the live action bits, but I forget. I forget about other languages that you used to speak. Probably you still do. Um but yeah, so one, it was awesome. So it is, it's still awesome. By the second episode though, I was terrified that I'm like, okay, so the first episode that I thought was going to be a big like 1 hour thing was still just a half hour, and it was like, so that's like the whole story. I was, thinking we were going to take a long time to figure out the secrets of Grayskull. It was like, no, here you go. Secrets of Grayskull. The power's under Grayskull. Now we destroyed it all. Now there's no more power of Grayskull. Have fun on some adventures then. Here's Stinkor. Where's Ram Man? Here's Stinkor. Never liked Stinkor. Here's Stinkor. Well, I like Triclops. Well, good. Because he's a cult leader now. And everyone's a cyborg. Isn't that what you wanted? Cyborgs? Like, I guess sometimes. At least you're not gonna kill Roboto, right? I mean, I'm not gonna be sitting on my couch on a Sunday morning crying because Roboto's dying. That's just not gonna happen, right? No. Who would do that to somebody? Who would do that to me on a Sunday morning? Nobody would do that. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato. I think that means thank you. Thank you very much there, Mr. Roboto. Sacrifice your life so we can get Blotto. So anyway, whilst watching the show and of course wanting the action figures, because I did also see some pictures that showed like, oh, they have so many points of articulation. So many. So many. And it was just like, all right, I wasn't going to get any, but if they're just going to show up at a store, then yeah, I'm going to try. I'll try and get my He-Man and Skeletor from a whole separate series, and they won't match with the rest, and who cares about obsessive compulsive continuity? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know why, but everybody keeps posting pictures of all of the He-Man figures they're seeing at all of the stores, and every time I see it, I run to the store, and they're still not there. It's still the same old ones that have been there for months. I'm just like, fine. So I went Googling to see, like, well, where and when can I get these new figures? People are posting them, so they must be available somewhere. And I want them, I at least want He-Man and Teela, and maybe the Skeletor. I'd still rather the old Skeletor, but new Teela, way better than the old Teela figure. And again, all the articulation. I like her Mad Max version and her old version. Both are great. And as I said before, Evelyn, best character in the whole show. Best. should be the star. I'm kind of tired of Skeletor by the end of it, and I'm like, I'm with you guys. We don't need Skeletor. You guys are more interesting. He's just out of his mind. And they really pointed out the fact that He-Man just makes terrible puns all the time. And really made me aware that everybody was making terrible puns all the time. And man, oh man, were those puns terrible. They're just terrible. But did not ruin the show at all. So, forgot. So, got to the second episode and I was like, oh no! Is this not going to explain what just happened? Are we just going on the episodic adventures of Teela and Andrea or Andrea, whatever her name is? Just, you know, like X-Files, Beast of the Week, Monster of the Week episodes? Because I don't want that. That's what I wanted as a child. I don't want that now. I want you to explain what just happened, and we're going to bring He-Man back to life, right? And eventually Orko? Because you're not going to... Griffin Newman's Orko voice, loved it. Griffin Newman, I think that's his name. Might be wrong. But he was also Arthur in The Tick, the last Tick show, with Peter Serafinowicz as the Tick. Best show ever. And so when he shows up doing that Orko voice, like, yep, you've got to live forever because you're great. So, of course, he's not going to. So, anyway, I'm watching it. I'm kind of getting perturbed by the fact that it was like, I think this might just be a bunch of one-off episodes and they're not going to get back to the overall story, and I don't care anymore. Please show me in some way that you are going to continue with the story. And then they kept bringing things up where I'm like, okay, that's clearly Evil Lynn in disguise. I don't know why these idiots can't figure it out. Teela, you deserve to be lied to for this long because you can't figure anything out. And then she's like, yeah, I knew it was you, Evil Lynn, the whole time. Well, then why did you get her a bunch of stuff then? Why did you get her puzzle pieces to possibly destroy the world even more? You're not good at this, Teela. You're not good at this. Whatever. So once I realized I'm liking this again, we are going to get back into the story. All the vehicles, all the toy things are there, and they're done A+. I'm just like, I'm cool with this. This is great. I assume that He-Man will come back eventually. I don't even know how many episodes this is. I thought it was just like a 1 hour thing, and then part 2 was going to be another hour, and I just didn't know. So it's just like on the edge for the whole time. So then I went and was like, well, I do want these toys, so I'm Googling them. And within the Googling of where and when can I get these figures, one of the lists, one of the first things is, hey, who of all of these characters is being released in the first wave of action figures? And I would think, at this point as I'm watching the show, well, clearly, the main characters, Teela and Andrea, have to be the first characters. I mean, I assume they're, He-Man and Skeletor are top of the list because that's how they're marketing this thing. But your actual main characters, definitely they're going to be in the first wave, right? And the first wave list consisted of, let me look at it. Let me look at it real quick. He-Man, number 1. Skeletor, number 2. Mossman, number 3. Dead. Spoiler alert. Hey, here I am. I'm in 2 scenes. Do I get an action figure? You sure do. You sure do, you dead old tree man. Evil Lynn, she better get a toy, and I better get one. Skelegod, who is the alternate Super Shredder version of Skeletor, you know, kind of from the movie. They had stuff from the movie too, which I thought was great. They had their like flying discs, and they were like, "Remember these?" And I'm like, "I remember those to the TV." Hey, He-Man. Hey, Adam. Hey, Tila. I remember those flying discs things. I noticed that thing over there. That's from the movie too. And I remember those robots from the episode where He-Man like punched all of the robots at once. Burned into my mind forever. I remember that. Good job. Good job of putting the things in here. Try not to kill anybody for another episode, please and thank you. So Skelegod, who literally is in it for, I'm going to say, 35 frames. Just like, I'm Skelegod. And they're like, what? And the end. Gotta go back in time to be continued. Next season, whenever you get that, who knows? I don't know. But they Back to the Future 2'd me, and that makes me angry. We all know that. And of course, Battle Cat. The Battle Cat looks fantastic. Lots of articulation. Gonna be real hard not to get a second Battle Cat, but I don't need a second Battle Cat. I might need a second Evil Lyn, though. I definitely need a second Evil Lyn. Moss Man looks awesome. Again, all the characters are so good. Very hard not to collect them all. So that was the end of that list. Tila? 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 Tila. Hey, we made a show about you. Oh, cool. Awesome. So it's all about you, basically. You're taking over. Like, well, great. So I'm going to get an action figure? I'm going to get an action figure, right? Eventually. I'm not in the first wave? Nope, not according to this list. But I have seen pictures, so again, they should exist. I don't understand how anything works. I'm 1,000. So little things like that. Just infuriated by I can't seem to figure out anywhere on the internet to get things. And if I can find them, it's always like, well, this is $90. Like, suggested manufacturer's retail price says 20? Yeah. But we're also making it impossible to get, so 90? Cool, thanks. Thanks, capitalism. Now, my real problem, again, everything else I'm just like, yep, easily gotten over. I'm glad that it was full of surprises. I mean, you can still see most things coming as you watched it from a mile away, but overall, I didn't know what was going to happen. It was like, well, if you're gone this far, anything's possible. Orko calling Evil Lyn Lyn? Best thing in the world. Like, right up there with when Bruce Wayne says, "This is Alfred, I work for him." That's the greatest thing I've ever heard in a movie. And then when it's just like, "Lyn, look what I'm doing, Lyn." Like, oh, Orko, you're clearly about to die. Oh my god, this is too heartfelt and adorable. I guess you're about to die. Oh, that's sad. But Evil Lyn, great. Evil Lyn without a helmet, awesome. Looks so cool. Roboto, way better design than the old Roboto. Looked great. Even Stinkor looked great. And Stinkor is stupid. Merman looked awesome. Merman's voice, I forget who it was. Somebody cool. I think it might have been Batman. I know Kevin Conroy was somebody. I think it was Merman for some reason. I kept thinking he was gonna be He-Man, but yeah. So it was like he wasn't doing the like. I don't even remember if Merman does the Merman voice in the old He-Man, but I'm pretty sure he does the old like. Now look at the ability. And all of those underwater voices sound the same, and they're all Krang. Um, but my real voice problem was Tila. Awesome character design, awesome character design. And I realize I'm going to be stepping on a lot of toes, but Sarah Michelle Gellar does not have a Tila voice at all. And a lot of her line delivery, I personally thought that she delivered it in a way that made me think, oh, she knows. She's pretty sure. She's seen the designs, and she knows what her voice sounds like. She knows that she's going to be replaced. Somebody else is going to be doing this voice because she doesn't belong doing this voice. If that's who it was, I kept thinking it was Kaylee Cuoco the whole time, but for the exact same reason, just like, why does Tila sound like a loser? Why does Tila sound like a little loser? Was Xena busy? Was Lucy Lawless was busy? Is that what you're telling me? I mean, can we get a good voice? So a lot of the things that she was saying was just like, I knew it was you, Evelyn. It just comes across as that, where it's just like, instead of like, I knew it was you, Evelyn. It's just the added Valley Girl-ness, the added Buffy the Vampire Slayer-ness of it really took me out of every time she talked. And I realized I'm the only person in the world who sat in a room with a bunch of friends who were like, oh, you've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer? No, you're watching it. It's the greatest show. We're going to watch it right now, and you're going to see how great it is. And then I sat in a room while I could feel people getting upset with me because they could tell I was not enjoying myself. And I think they just straight up stopped it, where they were like, oh, okay, you clearly hate this. Like, yeah, we'll just watch it ourselves later because the hatred we can feel coming off of you is ruining this show for us. And I'm just like, yeah, well, this show seems terrible. Like, is it just this episode? And exactly, Space Goonie, I love the movie. I've rewatched the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie 1,000 times. I think it's great. It's funny. It's weird. It's crazy. The action isn't super well done, but there's some there. And, in the end, I, kind of understood what was happening. And when Buffy came out, like, people got so crazy for it that I'm just like, all right, I get it. People love it. And it's just not my jam. And yeah, Pee-wee's in it, like, Luke Perry, like, what's his face that used to be married to Courtney Cox is in it. Like, just there's a ton of awesome people in that movie, and then that TV show to me was just like, seems like some creepy pervert's making this show, and someday we'll find out about him and hate him altogether. Great, someday we'll all be on the same page. But yeah, I can't remember ever seeing something with Sarah Michelle Gellar and going, oh yeah, let's have more of her. Seems like a good person, but character-wise, never fits the character she's playing, I don't think. So yeah, like, so much of her dialogue delivery just didn't fit with the situation, didn't fit with the character design especially. I'm just like, somebody made a mistake here. Rest of the voices, awesome. Everybody had a great voice, except for her. speaking of people dying in He-Man, because that's all we're talking about today, it's He-Man talk. At one point, Trapjaw dies. He straight up gets murdered by, I forget, but I think it was Andrea or somebody else. There was they were missing a lot of characters, like Ram Man and Stratos and I was gonna say Hawkman. Stratos is Hawkman, Zodax and whatnot, but I assume they'll come in. I still have no idea who Scareglow is. His figure is coming up in the old versions or the origins. He's like a big deal in this thing where I'm just like, I've never heard of Scareglow before this year, and people are posting about him to me as if like it's Scareglow. Like I don't know who this is. I have no idea. I get it. There was glow technology, and they started making glowing toys, but I don't know who he is. So anyway, some sort of vehicle comes after them, blah blah blah, and however it worked, I can't remember if she tore the arm off, the like big buzzsaw arm off of Trapjaw or off of some other robot cyborg or something, but regardless, she took a big giant buzzsaw blade, spinning, it's still working, whatever it was attached to, and she took it to Trapjaw's face. Like, they cut to behind and then they cut away, but you can fully see that the blade goes from not in his face to fully inserted into his face. So I'm just like, oh wow, they just killed Trapjaw. He's barely been in this. How dare you? But then he just showed up again as if he didn't just have his face cut in half. So, alright, like everybody else has got to die, but Trapjaw, he's fine. Now, I don't know, like, what Trapjaw's deal is anyway. Like, I think he might be a zombie robot man anyway. And yeah, it did feel, I mean, it was basically created on the backs of, like, you know, Transformers and He-Man were all made under that same umbrella of, you know, we made a toy, jam it in your cartoon somewhere. But considering, as, you know, pretty decent animation snob that I am, considering it was 5 full episodes of something from my childhood that I kind of worshipped. I mean, before I even realized this was a show, I was already trying to recollect the old toys up here. So I've already added an extra level of nostalgia to my brain before even watching it. So if out of all of that, like, what I'm mostly upset about was the marketing of it, that's amazing. Like, that's amazing. You know, out of all the things that I could have problems with, like, I feel like I should have been mad at the cyborg stuff. I'm just like, nope. Like, this is all great. Like, you came up with something interesting that still kind of holds true to what the Masters of the Universe was all about. Man-at-Arms is amazing. Again, not in it much, but he didn't die. Eh? And he was great. He was great. Now, I mean, there's clearly a part where it's just like, hey, you go do this thing. You're not coming with us, Han Solo. I mean, Duncan Dad. You're not going to show up at the last minute and blast these guys and be like, all right, guys, you strike back that Empire or whatever. Take it home, Luke. Like, obviously, there's a Han Solo moment coming. And I mean, clearly, like, since Kevin Smith is, like, the head story guy, there's going to be a bunch of Star Wars-ness in it. He's already has, Luke is already Skeletor. And then, yeah, at a certain point it was just like, oh, wow, Man-at-Arms totally abandoned the Sorceress to come rescue these guys for 5 minutes in a situation where, based on what Man-at-Arms did, they should have been able to rescue themselves. They have a Beastman at this point. Like, come on, guys. Just some fishmen. And then he just leaves, like, alright, saved you guys, see you later. I better get back to not Castle Grayskull, because we don't have the rights to do that, so we'll just have a little bit of Castle Grayskull, and then we'll destroy it and replace it with something else, because, you know, legal stuff. Even Beastman still looks cool in his new look. Like, it was great. Like, they still had the, you know, we still started in the past where they still looked like how they should look. And then they got some new looks that still, you know, none of them were bad. None of them were bad. I'm going to say Triclops, I had the hardest time with, just because he's like this weird popey looking guy. But still fun. Still fun. I don't think I ever had a Triclops toy, but I always thought he was cool. I don't even know why. And I think it was just the fact that something spun. I was that idiot kid that was just like, oh, I want a character that does something. Whereas now, I don't want them to do anything. I want all my characters to just have articulation. Alright. Have these blue guys. Cut. Rid of these blue guys. Delete. Paste. There. Now we got some new roughs. Then we'll clean them up. And then eventually I'll figure out what they're saying and add some words. And I started watching the new season of Maybe You Should Leave? Maybe I Should Leave. Maybe You Should Leave? Damn it, can't remember which it is. So far, just as, if not more funny than season 1. I have no idea if I've watched 2 episodes, 3 episodes, 1.5 episodes. I think You Should Leave. But man, oh man. So good. So good. And like one of the first sketches in it, if not like one of the, you know, the top 3. I was very tempted to record it just to send to Pat and Space Goonie, because the character's name was Pat. They kept complaining like, "Ah, oh, Pat." I think it was the hot dog one, where it's just like, Pat's eating a hot dog. Pat's eating a hot dog. And I was like, oh man, I should send that to Pat. That's hilarious. Look at him trying to eat a hot dog. But yeah, that's definitely one where I'm like, yep, I'm just gonna stop, and I'll start again later, because it's just sketches. I don't, you know, need to get to the end of this to see what it's all about. So I'll try my best to take my time with it. But the other thing is, when I did finally load Netflix up again for the first time in a long time, um, was like, all right, show me them sweet, sweet He-Mans. And also on Netflix is Venom, the Venom movie, Venom the movie. And I was like, ooh, will I just make this a day of disappointment for myself, or a day of miraculous discoveries, or amazing discoveries? Remember when that was a thing? I'm like, well, there it is. It's already paid for. I don't have to go through any rigmarole to try and find it. And at this point, I'd already had been watching the He-Mans, and I was like, well, if taking a chance on the He-Mans is paying off pretty good, maybe, just maybe, the Venom movie won't make me sad and angry, because, you know, it's stupid. But yeah, I just put myself through too much watching all the He-Man that I'm like, no, I can't take another nostalgia-ish thing. And again, I was like, I don't even have a big connection to Venom at all. I was never like, ooh, Venom's the coolest. I still want the Spider-Man connection in it, so I'm like, ugh. I don't know if I can handle not understanding a character that I kind of know at least a little bit. So I still didn't watch Venom. I'm gonna say Venom 1. Venom 2 isn't out yet, is it? And speaking of still childhood nostalgia and nonsense, yet another trailer for the new Ghostbusters reboot. This time not with women. This time not with men. This time with children. And yep, it looks 1,000 times better than, or at least, you know, well thought out compared to the last Ghostbusting reboot. But still, it still has so many kids in it. I'm still just, especially after the last Godzilla movie, I'm just like, are you gonna Stranger Things this too hard? You know, Stranger Things, it's got, you know, seasons and seasons, and they're gonna make more, so it's fine. You don't have to copy Stranger Things. But yeah, it still looks so good though. So annoying. So annoying. But the thing that really kind of frustrated me about the new trailer is, one, is this a new trailer? Like, there's very little new stuff in it, which again, still good. I don't want you to show me anything if I do end up seeing this movie. I'd rather my disappointment or my enjoyment be pure. So I did kind of actually skim through the trailer. I didn't really sit down and watch it because I'm like, nope, don't ruin anything. But mostly my reaction was, what are you talking about, a new trailer? I thought this movie definitely came out already and I missed it. I thought I just missed it and didn't care anymore. But yeah, it actually still hasn't come out yet. And that's kind of like, and again, I know the world has been shut down or whatever, but I thought it was already ready to go at the beginning of the pandemic. So I thought it was going to be one of our pandemic movies. Then they were like, oh, hey, remember how Wonder Woman was supposed to be great? And it's clearly the worst movie ever made. Wonder Woman 2. I'm not calling it 84 or 85, whatever it is. Just clearly a trash fest of nonsense. So it's like, hey, let's not jump in with the Tenant and the Wonder Woman mess, and let's just wait. Let's wait till movies are movies again, and people aren't so dependent on these movies right now that they're going to be even more scrutinized. Meanwhile, in the world of nonsense and tomfoolery. Oh, this sounds like my bread and butter. Is this about me? Have I been making some bread and butter tomfoolery? Did you find the butter that I put in your shoes? Maybe there's some shoes with the butter in them, but I didn't do it. Ask the Kutcher. Ask the Kutcher. In the real world, not the real world. There is no such thing as the real world. But yeah, I've given up on TikTok in most ways, shapes, and forms. Looking at it, like I said, it's just like, nope, nope. This is insane. This is insane. This is not meant for me. Posting on TikTok, even more so, like, nope, I do not belong at all. Just makes me feel bad. So let's just ignore this thing. But in the last days, I made a note of this a long time ago and kept forgetting. But one of the trends, we'll call it, that kept coming up was what's the politest way? What's the politest way to put this? Spitting in each other's mouths. Waiting until your mom is looking or your girlfriend's mom is looking, and then spitting a big old mouthful of stuff into their mouth. I think that's the biggest thing. Hey, mom, check this out. All into their mouth. Yeah, I think that's the most succinct way to put it. People, mostly seemingly, I'm going to say rich people, hanging out on their boats, usually. Don't know why that seemed to be a thing, but definitely like just, partying with the family kind of thing. Almost always a mom and or dad in the background or foreground, and then usually the boyfriend or the girlfriend, somebody takes a big old drink of whatever they've got, and then the other person leans their head back, opens their mouth wide, and they just mama bird all of it into their mouth. Ted? Hey, bro. Guys, here's my voice. Yeah, no, that's not cool, guys. As an avid surfer who's often on the beach dealing with the spray of the ocean, I don't even want the spray of the ocean, just the salt and the sea foam and all of that fish poop in my mouth, guys. That's not cool. I cannot imagine spitting into somebody else's mouth. Totally not rad. Not rad at all, guys. Not rad at all. Oh my god. How long have I been thirsty for? An hour and 10 minutes. Cool. About to choke on my own dryness. So yeah, that was, I want to say, kind of my last straw of, oh yeah, I absolutely don't belong here. I don't know what's going on in the world, but when I do, it terrifies me. I'm very quickly becoming the Grandpa Simpson who's just like, I'm gonna be in here because all you young people are nuts. Back in my day, we used to tie a turnip to our belt because it was, the style at the times. You'd be walking around with your turnip on your belt. But yeah, no, I did have that. I lost some notes. But yeah, and this is like during the end of COVID, or like, still during COVID. This isn't like fresh this week. Hey, we got our vaccines. This is full on like, hey, we're in Florida. We're on a boat. We don't care about anybody or nothing. Let's do some mouth spitting. It's the power of knowing what this world is about. Watching a good friend spit in your mouth. One thing it did need: the Masters of the Universe Revelations. And one, I have a terrible feeling that Gweldor is going to show up. All right, and if you don't remember, Gweldor was the Orco surrogate in the Masters of the Universe, the movie with Dolph Lundgren. I have a terrible feeling he is going to be a character that shows up in part 2. And again, I'm still fine with that. I didn't hate Gweldor. That movie's insane, and I love it. I love it. I love it. It's another one, along with the first Ninja Turtles movie, and Ed Norton's Incredible Hulk, that I watch at least once a year. So one, I do think that Gweldor is going to show up. Two, they didn't say good journey. Again, it's like my favorite part. Not my favorite part, but it's just a real heartwarming thing from the Masters of the Universe movie. Is He-Man and Man-at-Arms and Teela explaining to Courtney Cox, hey, we don't say goodbye. We say good journey. We want to wish each other a good journey, and hopefully we'll see each other again. There's no such thing as goodbye. I was like, oh, that's great. They're definitely going to say that in here. But now I'm not even sure if Kevin Smith watched the movie. But of course, apparently the best Star Trek movies are the ones that were directed or written, created by the dude who didn't like or watch Star Trek. So, you know, anything's possible. Like, who would have thought the Dragon Ball movie would have nothing to do with Dragon Ball? Or that Avatar movie would be the worst. No way to know. Space Jam toys look awful. You know what that might have needed? This just in. Have you seen the Space Jam figures at your local toy distributor? They look terrible. They look terrible. They're terrible. Back to you and the studs. Yeah. I don't know. The more I see of that movie, the more I'm like, well, a bunch of my friends worked on it. The animation looks great, but it was clearly written. It was clearly written 20 years ago, and they just kept that script because a lot of the stuff in the preview or the last trailer that I saw was just like, what are you talking? What are you doing right now? This is these references are so old that I get them. That's not cool. They're too old. Like, I think a good rule for screenwriting right now would be if you are in the middle of, if you find yourself writing yourself a Matrix scene into your movie after 2020, you might want to throw the whole thing away and start over. Cause you know, they're 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 in the process of rebooting the Matrix or making a sequel, and even that people are still kind of like, are you sure? Are you sure? We're not even sure. We already know we shouldn't even be making, Matrix reference jokes anymore. Are you sure you want to make another one? And I mean, and the answer, of course, is yes. I mean, especially after the John Wickiness, like, yeah, we all want it. It's gonna be terrible, and we're all gonna hate it. But oh man, you gotta try. You gotta try. But it might be great. I don't know. I don't know. They had to try so hard and invent new effects back then, and now so many of those things are just easy to do. That's like, is it gonna be? I want to say, is it gonna be half-assed? But Keanu has clearly reached a point in his life/career where he's only got an ass, 2.5 asses now. There's no half-assing from him, so he won't allow it to be anything less than amazing, I don't think. So I can only imagine it will be more a more John Wicky Matrix, which is great, right? Like what made the Matrix great was, oh my god, you guys do know kung fu. They are good at swinging guns around and flipping and stuff. I believe a lot of this. Wow. Like even the wire work, any floatiness was, again, believable. Like it felt like it was supposed to be there. Oh, Space Goonie. We've reached that age where we think that about a lot of things. But when I do stop and think, where did I first see the Matrix poster and go, what is that? I don't know. Is that some sort of sequel to Dark City? Because I'm in, if it is. It's not? I don't know what's happening. It's about what now? Oh, it's about being in the internet? No. Ugh. That never works out. You know what movies are terrible at? Going inside the internet. Wreck-It Ralph 2, I'm looking at you. You garbage jump of a movie. Wreck-It Ralph 1. Oh, you majestic eagle of a movie. Don't look at your new brother, though. Or clone. I don't know how that works. You fell off. You fell right off. Boo. Oh, the net. That's the best reference to. Oh my god, they're gonna get me. Through the net. Yeah, no, the internet can't actually do most of those things. They're netting me. Um, but yeah, the first time that I saw the Matrix poster was, ooh, what were we going to see? I want to say we were going to see Titanic, maybe? What movies were coming out then? Titanic or the Blair Witch Project? I feel like that's what came out then. But I saw them on the wall at the theater just on the next street from where I live now. And that place hasn't been a movie theater in a long, long time. And when I lived here at last, when The Matrix was coming out, it was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. If I could turn back time. If I could find her way, I'd see the Matrix the first time that it plays. 'Cause people told me stuff that spoiled things I didn't want to know. And when I saw it, I was like, oh. That's what they were talking about. Progress bar is saving Sandy B. I definitely watched The Wizard more than enough times. I remember California. It's not Jeff Bridges. Bo Bridges? Which one is the dad in that? I think Bo Bridges. I remember the dad when they get up the next day, and he was up all night playing Ninja Turtles for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and he was on the water level, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I definitely never made it, maybe once made it past that water level. It was just so hard. It was timed. There was explosives. It was just too much. Everything killed you. But then it showed him right at the beginning of the level, and it drove me insane. When old Bo Bridges is playing Ninja Turtles, and is it Christian Slater? No. Corey Feldman? No. Christian Slater? Who's the medium-aged kid in that movie? But whatever. When the older brother is like, "What have you been doing all night, Dad?" And he's just like, "Oh my God!" Christian Slater's like, "I made it to the whatever, to the dam or whatever." And he's like, and I've got the scroll weapon, so I'm ready to go." Like, you've got the scroll weapon? What are you talking about? Like, I'm pretty sure one of them does look like a scroll in the inventory, but it is not going to help you in the water level. You can't use any weapons here. What are you talking about? But then Christian Slater's like, "Whoa, I can't believe you're doing it. You love Nintendo." Like, none of you even know what a Nintendo is. You've just taken me out completely. And then, of course, the most egregious storytelling error in any film or whatever. It really, you know, I don't want to say ruined my childhood, ruined my ideology of things. But I really did think that, like, oh, there is something in people. There is a magical savantness that, like, maybe I have this magical savantness for something and I haven't figured it out yet. Because it always, in movies at least, it was like, hey, oh, a piano? I've never seen one before. Well, you're playing at a concert pianist level. Like, well, I don't know. And the wizard version for me was like, and we're playing Super Mario Brothers 3. Like, we've never seen this before. We haven't been able to practice. What are you talking about? What is Super Mario 3? And they start playing it, and right away, not only does the wizard figure out, and this was not a time when you did go exploring in video games to try and find weird secret stuff, because there just wasn't stuff until Mario 3. But yeah, he like right away, one, figures out how to fly. I didn't even know how to do that right away, without the book. He flies up, gets the warp whistle, uses it. He knows what's going on. I'm just gonna use this warp whistle. But then the announcer guy is like, "He found the warp whistle." You don't know what that is. None of you know what you're talking about. There's nobody in the history of Mario 3, unless they watched the Wizard, which is why it was in there. You know, it was to promote and sell Mario 3 and let you know that there's magical secrets, so you can also feel like a wizard. But yeah, it was just like, wow, like, so when I start playing my Nintendo, if I ever get one, maybe I'll be one of these kids who can just kind of magically find the secrets, and I'll be some sort of Nintendo hero. But I won't be a jerk like that guy who was like, ugh, it's the baddest, it's the power glove. I'm bad. Like Michael Jackson. And whatever that whole thing was about. Because I've used the power glove, and all I know is all my friends who had the power glove that were like, no, let's just play with controllers. That thing sucks. Like, no, like I saw the commercial, Power Glove. I saw the movie, Power Glove. And then you put it on, and it takes, I don't know, your whole life to calibrate it and get it to work. And then when you finally do, you're just like, I'm just gonna hold it sideways. I'm just gonna press the buttons like a controller, because this is stupid. This is the worst thing ever. Yeah, that's also the funny thing about like kids movies from back in those days as well. Uh, Adults don't care. They do not care if a murderer is trying to murder you. And B, if an adult is like, hey, that kid's left alone, who's keeping an eye on that kid? Get him! And they just like chase them down like they're trying to murder a Frankenstein's monster with pitchforks. And they're just abducting kids left, right, and center. Like, again, most of my childhood terrified to go anywhere because, oh yeah, everyone's out to get you. Everyone's out to get you. That's what all the movies I've been watching are about. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to sell me a Nintendo, but it's just sold me on. Don't leave the house. Everyone's trying to get you. But because of stuff like that, now Fred Savage is the greatest TV director in the world. Maybe he's directed movies, I don't know. I do know that whenever I really enjoy a show, usually at the end it says directed by Fred Savage. Princess Bride himself. Yeah. And I mean, in defense of those characters, those fake adults, um, again, when I was a kid, it was just like do 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 do. Yeah, I'm just a little kid over here. You want to go up to the mall? Like I'm just gonna take this bus up to like I didn't even know we had a bus system. Like, yep, we do. My parents let me take it all the way to wherever. Like, this seems crazy. Like, hey, I'm 9. Want to see my gun? No! What? What do you mean? Hey, I'm your babysitter. Want me to shoot you with a pellet gun? Don't tell anybody or you'll get in trouble somehow. Alright? Guess I'll just save that to your wedding date, Jody. Hey, Jody's mom. Jody shot me when we were kids. Pretty sure I still have a blue mark on my ass where a pellet or BB was lodged. Adults are the worst. Adults are the worst. But if you could turn back time. See, exactly. El Guapo was one of those kids. Hmm. This line. Have a good night, Space Goonie. I'm probably gonna be done here in about 2 minutes anyway. Cause it's been a long day. And it's 1,000 degrees. I've got 2 fans on my knees. Rough. There, and that'll do. I haven't quite decided the words that will be coming out of their mouths. But basically, something along the lines of, oh, some eyebrows. Where's that blue line? Why is everything going crazy now? So anyway, yeah. There's something along the lines of, "Oh, hey, Raybad. I hear you guys have a new show. Remember how, or no, maybe it's, hey, remember how it was like you and Heyman and Orko were like, used to be the main character adventurers? And, he's all like, yeah, I am. And just be like, whatever. Oh, but they didn't invite you to this one. He was like, oh, it's okay. Orko's dead anyway. And then I'll be like, well, enjoy your new TV show. And then Rayman crying. And again, haven't really thought it through yet. I'll figure something else out throughout the day tomorrow. It's very hot. All the liquid that I have to drink is sweating all over my desk. And that's not cool. The smoothie straw keeps filling with smoothie. Oh, I gotta figure out how to drink that. And now my hands are soaked. But yeah, that's our He-Man themed cartoon or comic for today. And all of those people who followed last week did not come back. Thanks, guys. And yeah, we talked a lot about the He-Man and his adventures and our childhood nostalgias. I think that was everything to cover, of course. You know, go to mrcartoons.com if you'd like to buy some comics or some poetry or some sexy dinosaur books. I've made all those things. I put them all there. If you want some of those things on t-shirts, there's a link to the t-shirt store as well. But as per usual, begging people to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Links are on the website as well, and on the I have no idea what you're talking about, Pat. Those were gifted subs to your channels. Someone gifted them to you. Me? They gave me subscriptions to my own channel? I don't need that? I don't understand. But yeah, that guy that kept just saying insert dick joke here, he didn't come back. Yeah, I guess I'll have to click on my Twitch thing. Oh, cool. That's awesome. I still don't know how that stuff works. Someday I'll understand. Just had a big meeting at work today that, you know, pointed out the fact that I don't understand anything. I just want to make a show and be one of these little turds that has a manager that is just like, hey, let me take care of the stuff. Like, oh, thank God. I just want to make the thing. Can you deal with the stuff though? Yes, of course. That's my job. Good. But if I said, hey, do you want to be my manager now? And they'd be like, manager of what? And I'd be like, yeah. This? Yeah, that's not gonna make me any management money. And I'll be like, yeah, but what about this? Hey, you get to manage an imaginary cat. I'm over here having a good time. I've got a little hat and I'm drinking wine, baby. But that's a secret, baby. You don't know what's in my cup. Do you want to manage me up? And everybody say, what's up? That I just rhymed up with up. Oh, I'm a disgrace. I'm a disgrace. Just a disgrace. Meow. 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 You don't really count as a manager, Ripley. You're the technical advisor and technical director. You keep everything flowing and moving, but when it comes to getting stuff, you know, on the go, yeah, I still got to take care of all that. So again, you're the sweetest angel, but you're no manager. Meow. 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 It's appreciation. It's appreciation still. You know, that's great. So whoever bought a bunch of subs and gave them away, then that's awesome. Subway or imaginary subscriptions. That's great. Thank you. I don't know how to figure out who that was, but maybe I can figure out who that was and thank them in some way. So weird. Yeah. It's a magical place where you can do nice things for people. And in other ways, you just put on a little show as best you can. You try to draw some pictures. And rail on some shows from your childhood. I'm over here trying to press buttons that I cannot press with a mouse. So anyway, yeah, that's this week's little comic strip. That's this week's little stream. Thanks as always for hanging out. If it wasn't for you guys, I genuinely would just sit here and talk to myself. I really would. I spend all week sad that I'm not doing a live stream, and then when it comes time to do a live stream, I'm just like, oh, kind of sad, because, you know, not a big deal. Still really thought that, you know, within 3 or 4 years, some traction would be made, but interneting's hard. Interneting's hard. I spend all day, of course, with people that are like, hey, I just decided to quit my job and become a streamer, and now I make $10 million a week. Like, all right, cool. Cool. I've got a good job, and I like it. And I like my job. So that works out well. Really? You're gonna end on a down note like that? Oh my god. You better come up with a theme song super quick, or else this is gonna be a total bummer ending. So what do you got? You gotta fly me to the moon and think above among the stars? What's that song? I don't know. You want to be a part of it? California. Gonna go back in time. All right, talk to everybody next week, every Tuesday. And again, thanks for the follows, thanks for the subscriptions, thanks for the shares and the likes. And for the love of God, somebody subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please and thank you. Hey, bros, goodbye from me as well. Never remember your voice, Ted, but I love you. Good night, everybody. Can't seem to find the credits button. There it is. Meow.